Harvey proves his worth. Thomas had gone back to the works after having another accident, so Topham Hatt was quick to make arrangements. I'll have Edward work on your branch line, and I'll have another engine from the mainland come to take Edward's trains, he said. Don't worry, Thomas, said Edward. I'll take good care of your branch line. Look after Annie and Clarabelle, said Thomas. That evening, the diesel from the mainland arrived, but to the engine's dismay, it was Spancan, a troublesome and rude diesel who had visited the island before. Oh great, groaned Henry, just who I didn't want to see. Spancan ignored Henry and looked at Harvey. What's that on your boiler? He said. It's my crane, said Harvey. I'm a crane engine. Spancan blinked slowly. A crane engine, he said. Those really exist? Well, of course they exist, said Harvey. Ha, said Spancan. Crane engines are just small, weak pieces of scrap. You should leave the cleaning up to big, proper cranes that get pulled around by other engines. Harvey was upset, but before he or Henry could say a word, Spancan oiled away to the diesel works. The next day, Spancan had to go to the docks. He had to move a mail car and a brake van out of a siding to make room for some more trucks. The mail car was very close to the buffers. Spancan came up too quickly. He bumped the mail car through the buffers and it came off the track. Whoops, said Spancan half-heartedly. I guess I'll have to try to pull this back on the track. But with the position the mail car was in, it was not easy. In fact, it was impossible. Just then, Harvey puffed in. Oh boy, what did you do? He said. Spancan snarled. Instead of questioning me, he said, why don't you make yourself useful for once and try to move this mail car into a position where I can pull it back onto the track? I'm always useful, said Harvey. You just haven't seen it yet. And with that, Harvey puffed up to the mail car and lowered his crane arm down to the front coupling. He moved the mail car into a straightened up position where Spancan could pull it back. But before Harvey's crane arm could be disconnected, Spancan pulled the train and Harvey's crane arm was yanked with it. The big yank broke Harvey's chain, and Harvey was now tipped halfway over. His crane arm was keeping him from falling onto his side, but there was no way he could get himself upright. Oops, my mistake, said Spancan sarcastically, and he rolled away. Harvey was upset. Luckily, Butch was passing through the docks. He spotted Harvey and quickly backed up. And he managed to get Harvey upright, but Harvey's chain was now broken and needed to be replaced at the steamworks. Thank you, Butch, said Harvey. You're welcome, said Butch, and he drove away. I can't believe Spancan did that, said Harvey. Oh, I'm sure that Diesel will come to his senses and realize he was wrong, said Cranky. Just then, Henry puffed by. He had heard Cranky. And how much do you know about mainland diesels? Not as much as me, that's for sure. This made Cranky very cranky. Harvey sighed and puffed away to the steamworks to get his crane arm mended. The next day, Harvey was mended. When he left the steamworks, he decided to go over to Crovansgate Station. When Harvey arrived, he saw Duncan and Rusty at the platform. Hello, Harvey, said Rusty. How you doing? Asked Duncan. I could be a bit better, said Harvey. Why, what's the matter? Asked Duncan. It's that mainland diesel with the yellow face, said Harvey. You mean Bear? Asked Rusty. No, the blue one, said Harvey. Spancan. Oh, said Duncan. I've heard about him. Yeah, he's the mean one for sure. Yeah, said Harvey. He was rude to me when he first arrived, and he caused my chain to break yesterday. Well, that's not very nice at all, said Rusty. Spancan thinks I'm little to no use for this railway, said Harvey. Rubbish, said Duncan. You're a very useful engine, Harvey. And well, we narrow gauge engines would like to have an engine like you on our railway. You don't know how lucky you are to have more than one use. Shunting trucks and pulling trains and lifting things. Well, that makes you a one-of-a-kind engine. And if Spancan can't realize that, then he's just crazy or dumb, said Rusty. This made Harvey feel better. Just then, the station master came out of the station. We just got a call from up the line, he said. Spancan has derailed. Serves him right, said Duncan. Excuse me, said the station master. Don't interrupt. Anyways, he's derailed near the edge of the suspension bridge with a passenger train. Uh-oh, said Rusty. A derailment with a passenger train is never good news. No one's hurt, said the station master, but Spancan needs to be put back onto the track as soon as possible. Henry will be coming down the line with a goods train very soon, and if Spancan isn't out of the way, there could be another accident. Harvey, you must go help him. I'm afraid the larger cranes are in use right now. Harvey knew he had to help Spancan in order to avoid a big accident, so he puffed away quickly. Attaboy, Harvey, said Rusty. Go get him, Harvey, said Duncan. Harvey raced down the line towards the suspension bridge and soon reached the accident. Some stones from a previous train had dropped onto the track and Spancan had hit them and derailed. He was now stuck near the edge of the ravine. His coaches were still on the line, but the passengers were growing impatient. Harvey pulled up and stopped. Don't worry, Spancan, he said. I'll get you back on the rails as soon as I can. Are you sure you can do it? Said Spancan. Because But before Spancan could finish, Harold came flying overhead. Henry is out of control, he said. His brakes have failed and he's coming down the line with his goods train. Clear the line, quickly! Oh no, please hurry, said Spancan. With all his might, Harvey lifted Spancan's front wheels into the air. He was worried he might tip over, but the new parts that Victor had given him made him stronger. Harvey carefully lowered Spancan's wheels back onto the track. Yes, Spancan, that's done it. Now I need to get out of the way, he said, and he quickly raced down the line with his passenger train. No sooner did Spancan get onto the bridge when Henry came racing down the line with his train. Harvey watched nervously as Henry thundered by. With seconds to spare, Spancan raced through the junction and the signalman switched Henry onto the siding. Henry shut his eyes as he smashed through the buffers. Flatten my funnel, said Harvey as he backed up. What a mess. And it was indeed a mess. Trucks lay everywhere, but luckily no one was hurt. I suppose I should start cleaning up what I can, said Harvey. I'll send for more help at the next station, said Spancan. And that's exactly what he did. It took some time to clear the mess, but Spancan, Harvey, Rocky, and Hank were able to make light work of it together. Once Henry was back on the rails, Hank took him to the works to be mended. Thank you for helping me, Harvey, said Spancan. You really are a useful engine, and I hope Sir Topham Hatt can find more engines like you for his railway. Harvey felt proud. He had done a lot that day. He had cleaned up some accidents, saved some passengers from getting hurt. He had proved his worth, and he had also made friends with Spancan. Never again would Harvey doubt his ability to be really useful. He was no doubt one of the best additions to Sir Topham Hatt's railway.